For the second week in a row, we make a stop at a racetrack that we've never been to before. Last week, it was the Minnesota Motorsports Park in the Gopher State, and today, the Cup Series makes its first ever trip to Newton, Iowa, in the Hawkeye State, not very far from Des Moines, and we are here at the 7/8 mile Iowa Speedway for the Casey's 400. It is race number 12 of the 32 race season, and we are 4 races away actually, from being halfway done in this final Trinity River Cup Series season. Good afternoon, everybody. It's a gorgeous day here in Newton. Joined alongside Nathan Stapleton once again for the call here at Iowa. And Nathan, you were here last week for what may have been possibly the best race that this series has ever had at the Minnesota Motorsports Park. We're coming to a track that is shorter than that, another track that we've never come to before. We've come to on the channel, but the Cup Series has never come to. And the 2 times we've come here was for the Scots National Series, and well, the first race was utter mayhem. The second one was a little calmer. What do you think we're going to see in this race today?
Well, thanks for having me up here in the booth once again. And for this week, I don't know what to expect here at Iowa for the first time ever in the Trinity River Cup Series. Of course, last week at Minnesota was absolutely madness with the racing that we saw. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Hopefully we see some of that carry over this week and have some fantastic racing. But this track, shorter than Minnesota, and it races a lot more differently than Minnesota. A lot less banking, a lot less of a groove. It's not nearly as wide either. And it's going to basically be the bottom. Maybe that second lane might work, but it's going to be mostly the bottom, and we have to wait and see what this Richmond type sister track can do here today in Iowa.
Yeah, you said it. Richmond sister track. This racetrack was inspired by Richmond Raceway when it was constructed. It was designed by, I believe it was Rusty Wallace, and took inspiration from Richmond to make this racetrack here that debuted in NASCAR in 2009. And now here in 2023, 14 years later, and almost 20 years after it opened in 2006, we make the trip to Newton. Let's take a look at the championship standings coming into race number 12 of the season. It's Eric Monaco atop the championship standings, 288 towards the championship, 2 ahead of Elijah Gordon, 6 ahead of Chase Buck, 16 ahead of John Andrews, 21 ahead of Braden Perez, 24 ahead of Roberto Brown Jr., 26 ahead of both Christian Vargas and Sebastian Kugelon, 27 ahead of Scott Upton, and Alex Lozano rounds out the top 10 of the championship, 28 points behind Eric Monaco. The top 17 of the championship within a race worth of points of each other. It's extremely tight here in the early going. Well, that's going to do it for the pre-race. Let's go down trackside. We'll get you a starting lineup, and we'll get this show on the road here in the Hawkeye State. And the engines come to life here at Iowa Speedway. 40 cars going to roll off of the pit road here. It's Marty Sakala on the pole position. He starts this one alongside Andrew Williams. In row number 2, we find rookie Max Sterling for Logan Sport. He starts alongside the 59 of William Brock. Then Sebastian Kukulon, Christian Vargas, Will Parrish, Ace Garcia, John Andrews, and Ella Hunter Cruz Jr. round out the top 10 here on the starting grid for the Casey's 400 here at Iowa. Nathan, a lot of good drivers up front. Who do you think is going to go to victory lane here in the first trip to the Hawkeye State?
Well, I'm going to go forward here. I think it's going to be pure domination from the guy on the pole. I think Marty Sakala is going to school the field here today in Iowa.
We'll have to see how it goes for him. Marty riding a winless streak, dates back to Atlanta last year in March. He's gone a full year without a win. He's had a rough season so far. Could he have a good run today? Green flag is out in Iowa. The Casey's 400 is underway. 3 wide, just behind the leaders. It's Marty Sekela coming around to lead lap number 1. Sterling second, side by side for third. Kukulon and Parrish going at it. 3 wide behind them. Williams, Brock, and Crown. With Crown on the inside, William Brock in the middle. Andrew Williams slips off the outside. John Andrews, our winner at Atlanta 3 weeks ago, working his way into the picture. He's going to get boot, scoot, and boogied up out of the way by Roberto Crown Jr., who comes in 6th in the championship standings.
And here comes Crown Jr. in the number 3 spot by Machine. I think I saw Eskimos down the front stretch, no caution. But I have to wait and see. Oh, no.
May have been Priya McShane and your points leader, Elijah Gordon, potentially got together back there. And, yeah, see the skid marks there on the front straightaway. You're right, Nathan.
Well, that's unfortunate for those 2 drivers, especially for Elijah in second and points coming into this one. Top 3 very, very tight. That's going to hurt him, and that's going to help Monaco to pull away from the field.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my goodness. A 2-for-1 special for John Andrews there.
This is a lot like Richmond. It's a D-shaped oval, just under a mile, and it's going to race a lot like Richmond does. A mile and a half that races like a short track, and here comes the 3 contact right there. And now, Crown Jr. is going to try to take third away.
Roberto Crown Jr. down to the inside of the Logitech Renault of Max Sterling, and into the 3rd position goes car number 3. It's Sekela, who's led all the laps so far. Parrish second, Crown, Sterling, Andrews the top 5, and then Vargas. How about Ace Garcia in the 52, working his way up towards the front. Comes in 38th in the championship standings, by far the lowest of any Velocistar car. But he's working his body armor Honda up into the front of the field, right in the 7th position right now. But William Brock just to the inside, looking to take that spot away as potentially for the race lead. Here comes Will Parrish down to the inside. We're side by side up front here in Iowa.
A great turns 3 and 4 for Will Parrish into the inside of Sekela. Easy pass for the race lead. Will Parrish out front, and now can Murray catch up in that not number 1, Home Depot machine. Might have to watch out for Roberto Crown Jr. though from behind, and here comes John Andrews as well on that 4th place spot.
By the way, for the incident back there, if this race goes caution-free, you'll see it in the bottom left-hand corner of your screen. If we get a caution later on, we'll show it to you at the caution break. What happened between possibly Elijah Gordon and Priya McShane coming out of turn number 4, but coming out of turn 4 right now, Will Parrish leads at the end of lap number 9 on to lap number 10. Next time by will be an 1/8 of the way through this Casey's 400 here at Iowa.
And with this being a 7/8 of a mile track, it is a fast short track. With it being how flat it is, very close right there with both the Crown Jr. and Murray Sekela. This race will go by in a heartbeat with these guys doing about 22-second lap times.
Yeah, 21.8, the fastest right now for Christian Vargas in the 05. He rides in the 5th position right now. Just behind him, you see points leader Eric Monaco down to the inside of Max Sterling. Rookie Brandon Hayes giving the boot scoot boogie to William Brock. But right now, they're running about 160 miles per hour off into the corner at this point. Obviously, the Michelins are worn down as this run has gone along. So, expected the pit cycle about the early to mid 40s, I would say. I cannot say for sure, but we'll just wait and see what happens. There's a rundown of your entire field order in the top left hand of your screen. It's Will Parrish who leads the way, Roberto Crown Jr. second. Your pole sitter, Marty Sekela, rides in the 3rd position. He's led the most laps so far, but Will Parrish looking to take the bonus point for leading the most laps. He's got an 0.8 of a second lead right now. Here comes Sekela on Crown.
Parrish is looking very, very good out front, but you know who's also looking good is Crown Jr. able to maintain on the outside, but can Sekela dive on it? No. Not going to get there quite yet for that 2nd place spot, and oh my goodness, it is a cluster back here.
8th place, William Brock, or 7th place rather, around the 17 of Max Sterling. Ace Garcia into 8th, Sterling back to 9th, side by side there with Mitchell Collins. And in 10th place will be, I guess it'll be Sterling now as he gets passed by Collins. And Eric Monaco looking to get back up in the top 10. It's Elijah Gordon down to the pits right now. Wonder what happened to that 76. That's one of your cars, Nathan. Saw him potentially maybe get in trouble earlier on with Priya McShane, but Priya McShane looks like just catching up to the tail end of the field as the field spreads out up front. But Elijah Gordon looks like he's going to lose a lap here. And maybe two.
Well, we saw what happened to the other two NS blackout cars at Minnesota. And this time Elijah has won, so I guess the last 2 weeks have been I'm in the booth. NS Racing in the NS blackout does not have the best of ones, but you know who has a good one off turn number 4? It is Mo trying to close down on his number 3. And we might have a battle for the second place spot here very, very soon.
They're closing in on Will Parrish up front, I do believe. Well, okay, it stayed about the same. But it looks closer because they're running slower lap times now. Because the tires are so worn, and I guess we're getting later on in the run. This could be a 2-stop race now that I think about it. We could be going 30-60 all the way to the end if this goes caution-free. But my intuition tells me that it's going to be in the 40s when we have the pit cycle. So we're just gonna see what happens as Parrish with a massive slide in turn 3 and 4. That is exactly what Roberto Crown Jr. wanted.
Well, that's not what Parrish wanted, but that's what 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and 5th all wanted, and now we might have a 5-way battle for the race lead here. Crown Jr. catching up with Will Parrish. Have to see what that machine can do, and if Murray has to watch out behind him with Andrews and the 05 of Vargas all over his back bumper.
Brown actually cut the lead in half the last time through. Now it's down to just under 0.3 of a second for Will Parrish over the 3 of Roberto Crown Jr. down the back straightaway. Singled out through the first several spots. Here's your Daytona 500 winner Trey Smith. Back here we see side by side between Sebastian Kugelon and Dale Lightning. That is for 26th on the racetrack. There's Nicholas Samadio running in 25th. One of your cars, Nathan, as we'll check back in up front real quick. It's still Will Parrish leading the way. Unfortunately for your team, Nathan, NS Blackout Motorsports is not having a good run right now. 25th, 34th, and 40th on lap 23.
And not what we wanted to see here, but maybe we can get some kind of pit strategy going here. As it is uncertain if it's going to be a 1-stop or 2-stop at the time being, but you know what is certain is Roberto Crown Jr. having a bad fast race, but he has pulled away from 3rd on back, and he is still all over the back bumper of Will Parrish. Parrish gained a little bit last time by. Crown Jr. running about half a lane lower in 1 and 2, and trying to chase that Ford Mustang down.
See if he's able to, or see if they're able to here in the next handful of laps, potentially, before we get to this pit cycle, which should be happening, I guess, just about any time now. We could have 2, we could have just 1. Again, we'll have to see how it goes. Right now, John Andrews is all over the back bumper of Marty Sakala, trying to take that 3rd position away. Boot, but no scoot. Boot and scoot, but he's not boogied on by yet. See if he's able to into 1. Big dive bomb by Andrews, and maybe 3 wide. We are 3 wide. Hayes, Vargas, Sakala, and now Brock Vargas, Sakala, as Brandon Hayes immediately gets a 2-for-1 special. How about that?
Murray, I might have jinxed you. It's not looking good for Murray right now. I thought he was going to dominate. He is definitely not dominating in this one. A lot more passing than what I originally expected. Speaking of passing, we might have a battle for the race league here. It is down to 2/10. It was 3/10, but now it's down to 2/10. And Crown Jr. isn't moving in his Chevy Camaro. Wanting to chase down Parrish, and if these two get side by side, that might allow 3rd place of John Andrews to catch up as well.
We'll definitely have to see if Andrews is able to. I'll give a shout out to Velocitar real quick. They've been having a miserable season, but 9th, 10th, and 11th here in the early going at Iowa. How about that? Ace Garcia leading the charge, Caleb Rose in the middle, and Mitchell Henderson, who started last in this one, is up to 11th. How about that?
Oh, that proves my theory wrong of it not being able to pass here today. The last driver on the grid and then qualifying all the way at 11th. Great one for Mitchell Henderson and the entire Velocitar team running up 1-0. I think
here we go. Marty's into the pits. And so it looks like it may be a two-stop affair here at Iowa. Marty Sekela, the first taker. Is anybody going to go with him?
Oh.
I don't believe so. Okay, so it's going to be a two-stop affair here at Iowa. We'll see if anybody else comes down into the pits this time through. Parrish and Crown, Will, Andrews, Hayes, Vargas, Collins. Trey Smith's going to stay out. Oh, that was close between Parker and Harris. Perez stays out. Samadio stays out. Zidell, Thompson, and Stover stay out. There's Elijah Gordon. He's a lap down. We saw him come in earlier. Trey Smith gets a bonus point towards the championship. It's going to be interesting to see who comes out first of this second group. There's who was your race leader, Will Parrish, into the pits. Zakela is out of the pits. Let's see if maybe that helps him getting up to speed early here in this pit cycle. And you know it's going to be 4 tires, gas, and go. Parrish is going to beat out Roberto Crown Jr. Elijah Gordon there, I believe he's getting a lap back at this point, or he may actually have just taken the race lead. We'll see in a second. He's been out there. He was a lap down. He's been out there a couple laps longer than anybody else has at this point, I do believe. Oh my goodness. Elijah Gordon's going to take the lead in this one. I do believe. We'll see. Comes out of here. He's got to be ahead of the 10 and the 98. I believe he is.
Yeah. I think Elijah wants a caution right now. Once this thing cycles out, I think he would love to have a caution because he is definitely on older tires than everyone else. And, yeah.
Second place right now.
2-second gap between the original leader, Will Parrish, and then Crown Jr., who's now in third. I think Elijah put around lap 15, lap 16. So he put around lap 45-ish. So he would want to have a caution in the next 12 laps.
He's on very old tires right now. He's hoping for a caution, but he's going to lose the race lead right now to Will Parrish. And Roberto Crown Jr., the 3 is right there. If Parrish messes up... Oh, big dive by Crown. Here comes that 3.
I think Crown Jr. might have the color to beat with at least the second best color here at Iowa. And they will go to the inside lane. No, Parrish gonna block it on the inside.
Great defensive drive there by Will Parrish. We'll see if he can do it again on Roberto Crown Jr. Roberto Crown Jr. taking a look down low. Not able to just yet. But it's one thing to catch someone. It's a whole other thing to get around. And there's Kyle McLeese getting around Brock Nelson. That's for 38th on the racetrack. And these guys are just coming up on these two cars that are at the tail end of the lead lap. Oh, big slide by Parrish. Here comes Crown. That's the break they were hoping for.
Way into the outside lane, into the gray stuff. You do not want to get up there. Now I think Crown's going to take the race lead easy. There goes the Spotify machine to the race lead. And I don't know if Parrish either got tight, or if he got sent, or if he got deleted from those 2 lap cars up ahead. But now is all Crown Jr. up front, and how about Molly with that undercut back in that 3rd spot.
Worked out great for Marty. Now within 3 seconds of the leaders, and they could get slowed up by McLeese and Nelson. They could get slowed up by each other. Think about it. They could battle each other back and forth, and that could hinder their momentum. Up ahead, the caution's out. And that's exactly what Elijah Gordon wanted. As into the wall goes Keegan Thompson. in the Mac Tools number 23, your Auto Club winner, as Elijah Gordon's back in the pits. But he'll get to finish his stop because he was already in the box. We'll see how many laps down Elijah is. If he's only one, he'll get back on the lead lap under this caution, as will Priya McShane. But Marty's going to go ahead and come into the pits. We're at 41 laps to go, coming through to this this time around. Anthony McClure's coming in, Scott Upton's coming in, Justin Zeidel, Brad Stover are coming in, and that looks to be it. So everybody else looks like it's going to stay out. Keegan Thompson, I do believe, is going to fall out of the race, unfortunately. That looked like a very, very hard hit to the outside turn 1 wall for Keegan Thompson. But Priya McShane and Elijah Gordon will get back on the lead lap here in just a moment. But Nathan, what do you say we go back and take a look at what happened?
Yeah, very unfortunate for Keegan Thompson. A good push for Elijah Gordon, but not of what these guys wanted. A couple of drivers pitting, and I think they will be able to stay out to lap 70, and then everyone else is going to have to pit around lap 60, so it could be interesting how the second half of the race goes, but let's go ahead and see what happens. Bring out the first caution wire halfway.
Here we are watching from overhead, and this is what happened. It was not an incident. It was not a crash, as it turned out. It was a mechanical failure of some kind for Keegan Thompson, like maybe an engine blown or something, and whatever was going on, he goes up into the wall at the turn 1 entry. Thankfully for him, he's very high up on the racetrack already, so it wasn't that hard of an impact for Thompson, but unfortunately, the structural integrity of the car doesn't matter because the motor components or whatever is under the hood is fried, and he is going to fall out of the race here in the Casey's 400 at Iowa.
For turns 3 and 4 right here, kaboom goes Keegan Thompson, finds his own oil, and had nowhere to go but just ping it up into the outside wall. Probably a good thing I did that, because if he didn't slip into his own oil and go into the outside wall, then he would have been in the way for everyone else. But luckily, that's all it was. Not too big of a hit, but gonna be daily. That's what happened.
Yeah, very unfortunate for Keegan Thompson for sure. But we saw more shakeups under this caution period. We'll let the officials sort it all out. Track is clear, we're good to go, so let's head to the restart here at Iowa. So lights are out atop the pace car here at Iowa Speedway. Welcome back to the Casey's 400 here. First ever trip for the Trinity River Cup Series to Iowa. And the caution coming out right about halfway for an incident involving at least Keegan Thompson. And Thompson's going to fall out of the race after just what first looked like a big hit to the turn 1 wall. Don't quite know what happened just yet. We will in post because we do the replays afterwards. Y'all at home already know. But right now it's Roberto Crown Jr. leading the way, Will Parrish second, John Andrews third, Brandon Hayes fourth, Mitchell Collins in fifth, and then Mitchell Henderson, Ace Garcia, Caleb Rose, Kanan Biller, and Eric Monaco round out the top 10. All 39 cars remaining on the lead lap, and green flag is back out here at Iowa. 38 laps to go in this one.
38 laps to go in this thing. If this race stays clean, we will have one pit stop. For most of these cars, lap 60 for everyone that pit under this caution, it will be lap 75 if you will. As oh my goodness, Will Parrish, and now look at John Andrews.
Oh my gosh! What a turn of events there! What a dive by Parrish, but that may have messed himself up. And Roberto Crown Jr., John Andrews, Atlanta winner to the point here at Iowa for Ryan Durrani Incorporated. Here's rookie Brandon Hayes, won the third heat for the Clash on the Clay at Eldora. And Polar Star has been off to an amazing start this year. Him and his teammate Brad Stover. Mitchell Collins, who comes in, I believe, comes in last to the championship. Yes, he does. 146 points behind Eric Monaco there. Now up to the third position after a topsy-turvy pit cycle and a topsy-turvy circumstance under caution. Boy, this is an entirely new race now, Nathan, after everything that just happened.
John Andrews was in third, like third and fourth for most of this race, and oh my goodness, I don't know what happened to the number 99 of Brad Silva, but he's gonna come out right in front of the leaders, and now he's gonna race with these guys. And I don't know where Collins came from. Hayes and Ace Garcia was up here as well.
Apparently,
and
Chase Harris is in the pits as well.
Don't know what happened to them, but yeah, it's a totally different race now with some new players, but still with some same players as Will Parrish trying to make his way back up to the front.
If Stover wants to get around the leaders, because if he does, another caution comes out. Stover would be one lap down and get back on the lead lap. Right now, he's 2 laps down, trying to get to the inside of Brandon Hayes, and then trying to get to the inside of leader John Andrews. And looks like he's going to be able to, so he'll be 1 lap down if he gets around the 41. But this could be a nightmare for John Andrews, and exactly what Brandon Hayes wants. Here comes that 84.
Exactly what the 84 wanted. Here comes Hayes to the inside of Andrews. Gonna try to do a slide job in 3 and 4. And that's gonna allow Collins to catch up with his top 2.
So Brandon Hayes to the lead, the rookie for Polar Star Motorsports and owner Nathan Smith. On the inside for 4th, Jacob Thibodeau. Where did he come from? We haven't talked about him all day. And your Willow Springs winner is up in the 4th position in behind Mitchell Collins.
Tell you what, I don't know where Thibodeau came from, but fantastic one for the Kai Kroger machine. Mitchell Collins is going to go to the inside of John Andrews now, battle for 2nd. And meanwhile, all this is happening. The 2 fastest cars of the day are back in 5th and 5th and 6th at the moment, trying to make their way back up to the front. Have to see if Roberto Country and Will Parrish can get up to the top 2 spots, but fantastic racing from 2nd on back.
And then immediately a dive bomb by Jacob Thibodeau on Mitchell Collins. He is not being conservative at all. He is right into the 2nd position and looking to chase down rookie Brandon Hayes, who stretched away to about a half-second lead. Andrews slips into Collins in 3 and 4. Into the 3rd position goes the 41 Honda. Now everybody setting their sights on Brandon Hayes. We'll take a look out the back. That's the gap, and it is shrinking back to Jacob Thibodeau.
Thibodeau slowly reeling in the rookie for Polar Star, and we might have battle on our hands here in a couple of laps if Hayes is not careful. Thibodeau has balanced up under the pit stops, under the caution, not under the caution, before the caution. Oh, but he goes wide in turn 1 and 2.
Thought it may have been because John Andrews was closing in, but no. Just not a very good entry for Thibodeau, but a good exit and a big dive in 3 and 4, pressed against the backside of the 84. Out of turn number 4, coming to lap 55. Here comes Thibodeau to the inside. He's looking for win number 2 on the season after losing 6 spots in the standings at Minnesota 1 week ago. And there he goes to the race lead, looking for a bonus point this time around. Bonus point towards the championship. And it looks like Thibodeau's going to get it for Pacific Camel Racing.
I thought John Andrews was going to get to the inside and make Hayes lose 2 spots in 1 lap, but got outside to work to defend and maintains in 2nd. And now Parrish in 4th and Clown Jr. in 5th. Have to see if those 2 can still make their way up to the front. I think the fastest 3 drivers up front right now are Thibodeau, Clown Jr. and Will Parrish.
And Chase Harris is still in the pits. Came back out a little bit ago, came back down into the pits, and is now 5 or 6 laps down at this point. So, horrible turn of events for the Monkey Puck Racing driver. Whatever has gone wrong underneath the hood of that 54 has sullied any chance that Chase Harris is going to have of a good run here in the Hawkeye State. But up front, it's Jacob Thibodeau running high, wide, and handsome in the Tide Kroger number 32. Brandon Hayes in 2nd, John Andrews 3rd, as Andrews is going to come to the pits, and this is what we were looking for after the first cycle. The ones that came down at lap 30 are going to come down now, so we'll see what happens. Thibodeau is definitely one of them, as is Brandon Hayes. So this here, Nathan, this could be deciding the outcome of the race, who makes it out of this pit cycle good.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about earlier once we went back green. Everyone that pitted around lap 30 and stayed out, they would pit around lap 60, pit a lap or two sooner, and then the few guys that pitted under the caution should be able to stay out 10 more laps unless they decide to pit with everyone else here, which they could, but this could get interesting here for the second and final round of pit stops in the case he's 400.
Trey Wright gets a bonus point towards the championship. He's trying the overcut. As out for the first group first, it's Andrews out, and then Kukulon ahead of Parrish. How about Thomas Troxel with a good pit stop there? At least it looks like it for the number 62 for PHR. Haven't talked about him all day. He's 17th in the standings, coming in after a great run at Minnesota. Runner-up finish to Anthony McClure in that thrilling battle to the line. And he is now potentially going to come out of here with a pretty good run. Look at how many cars are a lap down right now. 6 cars still have not come down into the pits. Wright, Upton, Sakala, Gordon, Seidel, and McClure. And of course, we're waiting till about lap 65 or 70 for these guys to come down into the pits, as Trey Wright is now up to almost a 4-second lead over Marty Sakala. And you know these top 6, you know they're waiting for a caution right now.
Well, they would love to have a caution happen right now and trap everybody else a lap down. And we always saw one happen earlier in turns 1 and 2, so it could happen again. But look at how slow Trey White is compared to everyone else that has pitted, and that's not just Trey White, that's the other 5 drivers as well. And we have to wait and see when exactly the top 6 decide to pit.
Oh my goodness!
Boy.
Big dive by Paul-Antoine Cyr on last week's winner, Anthony McClure. McClure running 4th for the time being, as Paul-Antoine Cyr is back in 34th position for the time being. But Trey Wright up by 4.4 ahead of Marty Sakala. Sakala's falling into the clutches of the cars that have already come into the pits. You see just how slow they are compared to everybody else. And what did I say, lap 65 to 70? Well, we're right in that frame, so they're probably going to come down any second now.
This is very sketch right now here at Iowa. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I know. Wright looked like he was going to come down right there, but Mr. Edge got a huge dive bomb on the 95, as there goes Sakala into the pits from 2nd place.
Will the strategy work? I don't really know. Everyone else has trapped a lap down, so they have that going for them. They will have flush tires. I don't know if they would go with 2 tires or 4 tires, but I don't know how well this will work out for these drivers, as the 83, the 78, and the 24 are all going to come down pit road.
3rd, 4th, and 5th coming into the pits. Is Wright stayed out 1 extra lap. We'll see if maybe he comes down this time. Yes, here he comes. And then Elijah Gordon in the 76. Where's Gordon? There he is, and he's going to come into the pits right behind the 95. So, the leader through the cycle, if I'm not mistaken, if the lap cars cycle in front of these 6, it would be Andrews ahead of the 84 of Brandon Hayes, and there's Hayes right back there. Werner Crown Jr. and Mitchell Collins side by side for the 3rd position, with Caleb Rose and Ace Garcia right there behind them.
We talked about Velocity earlier having 3 cars in or around the top 10, and now 2 of them might be inside the top 5 once everything cycles out.
I take it back.
Thibodeau. Oh wait, yeah, Thibodeau's going to be in the lead.
Thibodeau's going to be the leader, ahead of John Andrews, and then Brandon Hayes will be 3rd. As we come around, there's Jacob Thibodeau getting back into the lead, and we have a caution right after everything cycles through, as Trey Smith has got up in the turn 3 wall, looks like. Your Daytona 500 winner has found trouble. And after all that, Nathan, we get a late race restart after all.
Well, the first time we had pit stops, we had a caution right after. And then the second time we had pit stops, we had another caution right after. And now this is going to set for a late race, short track style restart. Oh boy.
Oh my goodness. I remember the last time this happened at an Iowa race. Or not the last time, but actually, yeah, the last time we had a late race restart at Iowa, we had 2 overtimes in the Scots National Series race. We're hopefully not going to have anything that wild today. Let's just go clean and green to the end from here. But second caution is out here in the Casey's 400. After everything cycled through, fortunately, we got to see everything cycle through, but now this is definitely setting up a barnstorming run to the checkered flag here in the Hawkeye State, with Jacob Thibodeau, John Andrews, Brandon Hayes leading the brigade. They'll lead the brigade to the green flag in just a couple laps. Meantime, let's go back and we'll take a look at what happened to bring out the second caution of this Casey's 400 here at Iowa. So we've seen this before at Iowa here on this channel. Trey Wright coming out of the pits. Trey Smith going down to the inside, gets into the back of the 95, turns the 95 up into Stover and into the wall. All 3 cars go. And that's where we saw Trey Smith. Could have been avoided, no doubt about it, but either way, 3 cars up into the turn 3 wall here at Iowa to bring out the second caution of the race and to set up a late race restart here in the Casey's 400.
Here you go, Trey Wright came off the pit road, and we've seen this happen before, and it happened again. Got turned by Trey Smith, and unfortunately, Blastover also got involved in that one. And unfortunately for the Daytona 500 winner, and that's going to cause a late race shootout here at the short track of Iowa Speedway with 6 or 7 laps to go in the Casey's 400.
Absolutely, it's going to be a thrilling showdown. We'll take it to the green flag here at Iowa. We'll have 6 laps to go in the Casey's 400. Back with your live picture here at the Iowa Speedway. 6 laps to go at the restart. Jacob Thibodeau leads the way. Caution come out for Trey Smith, getting up and around in the turn 3 area. A couple of cars falling out of the race. Otherwise, Alejandro Cruz Jr. out with a busted header, and Chase Harris out with a valve problem. Both of them Monkey Buck Racing drivers, 46 and 54. So Chase Buck running in 21st. He's got to be just a little scared right now. But field's in the hands of your Willow Springs winner, Jacob Thibodeau. Remember, he booted Brad Stover out of the way with 4 laps to go to win that one. He's definitely going to be driving very hard to get his second career win here in the Trinity River Cup Series. John Andrews looking for win number 2 on the season as well from second. Green flag is back out with 6 remaining here in the Casey's 400.
Here we go. Gonna be a wild restart. Cannot count anybody here in the top 5. Collins as well as the 15 of Caleb Rose, Hayes.
Oh, Hayes! Oh my goodness!
Contact. 5 laps to go, and the rookie trying to get the job done here.
He powered his way to the front on the last restart, and Brandon Hayes looking to replicate what he did 30 laps ago. To the backside of Jacob Thibodeau, Collins into 3rd behind Roberto Crown Jr. into 5th, around the 15 of Rose. As up front, here comes Hayes for the race lead at 4 laps to go. The rookie in the Ally 84, he'll take the lead in the Ken Block throwback.
A awesome throwback right there for the 84 machine. And you know, I think...
Oh, big slide!
Oh boy, wait, I think this 84 might have a short run car, but he cannot make mistakes like that though with 3 laps to go.
3 left here at Iowa as Roberto Crown Jr. to the inside of John Andrews. I think this is going to be a 3 or 4 car battle. I'm not sure. It's still too early to tell. Brandon Hayes up front leading the way. Jacob Thibodeau trying to close in. Roberto Crown Jr. Massive dive on Mitchell Collins back there. 2 laps to go this time.
I don't think Roberto's going to be able to get back up to the lead, but a fantastic comeback to a top 3 finish. And it is looking really good for Brian Hayes in that Kim block throwback.
Oh, he slips though. He slips though.
So
And Jacob Thibodeau's going to close in and down the front straightaway. White flag is out. 7/8 of a mile remain in Iowa. Brandon Hayes looking for career win number 1. Jacob Thibodeau looking to break his heart as he did his teammate Brad Stover at Willow Springs. Heading down the backstretch into 3. There will be no Polar Star heartbreak today. Brandon Hayes is going to get win number 1 on the season for the boss man. Rookie Brandon Hayes wins the Casey's 400 in Iowa.
Once again, for the second week in a row that I'm in the booth, what a race in the Trinity River Cup Series. That was fantastic. No full finish, but it definitely came down to the wire with that 6-lap shootout. And how about that? Brian Hayes gets the job done here at Iowa.
He becomes the 11th different winner of the season here in the Trinity River Cup Series. The record, I believe, was 21 last year. 21 different winners. But Brandon Hayes finally gets Polar Star their first win of the season, and does so with an average race speed of 113.2 miles per hour around the 7/8 mile Iowa Speedway. And taking a look at the rest of the standings here, it's Jacob Thibodeau 0.3 of a second back. Thibodeau, a great run late in this one. Got to be satisfied with a second place finish, but it came so close. You know, he's got to be disappointed, but he's going to hop up in the championship standings mightily after this run. Roberto Crown Jr. finishes exactly 1 second behind Brandon Hayes. Ace Garcia 4th, John Andrews in 5th, and then Mitchell Collins, Caleb Rose, Alex Lozano, Sebastian Kukulon, and Stephen Colon round out the top 10. Taking a look at the bottom 30. 36 cars finishing this one on the lead lap. Trey Smith, the only one finishing a lap down. Alejandro Cruz Jr., Chase Harris, and Keegan Thompson not finishing this race today at Iowa. But Nathan, final thoughts on this one? A rather insane race for what we were potentially anticipating here at Iowa. Take us through what we saw today.
Well, Iowa Speedway, first time in the Trinity River Cup Series, definitely did not disappoint. Fantastic racing. We saw short track racing at its finest. This track it races like a speedway, but it also races like a short track, and we saw a good mix of both here. A very fast 80-lap race here, and I thought it was gonna be about between Roberto Crown Jr. and Will Parrish, but once they got mired back after that first caution, they couldn't really recover. Of course, Crown Jr. came back late in 3rd, but Will Parrish fell back all the way to 20th, so that's unfortunate for the O2 machine. But how about that a crazy one here at Iowa, and a rookie gets the job done, edges off Jacob Thibodeau. I thought Thibodeau was going to get there, and we would have a second straight full finish here in the Cup Series, but not quite. And Hayes hangs on to the lead and gets the win. Thanks for having me once again up here in the booth. Bad weeks to know when I'm in the booth, and we had some crazy races. Fantastic one here at Iowa.
Absolutely was. Wonderful stuff here in Newton for our first trip here to the Iowa Speedway in the Cup Series. Big congratulations to Brandon Hayes, the one that he probably should have had earlier on in the season. The rookie has finally pulled it off. And Max Sterling, the lone rookie without a win here of the trio. Anthony McClure has 2. Brandon Hayes now has 1. Max Sterling actually finished this race, let's see here, in the 31st position. So definitely going to need to turn things around. Sterling wants to etch a 1 in the win column and join the rookie compatriots. But Brandon Hayes, big congratulations once again to him. My thanks to Nathan Stapleton for joining me in the booth for this one. And we will see y'all next week at, I believe we're going to be in Dover, Delaware for that one, for the Hershey Park 400. And yes, indeed, it'll be the 199th Trinity River Cup Series race before the big 200 at Talladega Superspeedway. We've got a wonderful stretch of racing ahead before up to Memorial Day even. Let's see here. We had Iowa today. We had Dover, Talladega. We got Martinsville after that. North Wilkesboro now added to the calendar in place of one of the South Boston dates. And then on Memorial Day Monday, the World 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hope everyone is excited as much as I am for this. That's going to do it for us here at Iowa. Big congratulations one more time to Brandon Hayes, and we'll see you at Dover 1 week from now. Until then, y'all take care, stay safe, and have a good one.